Reclaiming your confidence. 7 secrets that successful people know. Now, back in the 80s, and I think a few years in the 90s, there was this great show called Star Search. Nowadays, people have The Voice, and what, 10 years ago, there was American Idol, maybe longer than that. But we had Star Search. And oh my gosh, me and my mom used to watch that. I think it came on like 7 o'clock on Saturday nights. We were there. Did you know that there were a lot of people who are huge, famous megastars today who were on that show who didn't win? So when we recap these 7 secrets of getting our confidence back, we're going to use the lessons of these folks. Because listen, the problem is enthusiasm. That can be hard to come by. It's hard to get that going every single day, especially when you take a beating. You're constantly hearing no. You're not good enough. You're not special enough. Not for you. Not at this time. You can't have it now. Setbacks and disappointments, they do have a way of knocking you down. We're human. We get to doubting ourselves and we lose sight of who we really are. Now, without confidence, it becomes impossible to try. And that's the guarantee for failure. Now, thankfully, we know one thing for certain. Confidence, even lost, can be reclaimed. You can lose your confidence and you can find it again. And successful people teach us this lesson all the time. So here's some of their tips. Number one, they keep on trying. Persistence pays off. If you fail and stop, you'll always think of yourself as a failure because you've already taught yourself, I fail, I stop, I'm no good at anything. I can't I can't get it right. You don't want to teach yourself that lesson because it's the person who gets up and tries again who builds confidence as they go. And speaking of Star Search, did you know there were some comedians that we know today, household names, that didn't win on that show? Tommy Davidson. Tommy Davidson was on, in Living Color. He was on Martin. He's still, I'm still seeing him on sitcoms even now. Drew Carey and Rosie O'Donnell. They didn't win on that show, but because they didn't give up, that is how, they were able to build their success. You cannot build a success of yourself if you give up. Number two, they start over. The only sure way to fail is to do the same thing in exactly the same way when you've already failed the first time. Rather than force failure onto yourself and eradicate your confidence, like eat away at it, revamp the strategy. Ask yourself how you can do things differently this time. One of our competitors on Star Search was Tatiana Ali. And as she went on there, she was singing the song, Why Do Fools Fall in Love? She was cute, she was adorable, and she sang the song quite well. But she decided for herself that what she wanted to do was, she still wanted to perform, so she decided to become an actress instead. And look at that. We've seen her on The Fresh Prince, and we've seen her on other things, and we've seen her on Lifetime movies and the like, and she had her own show for a bit. So that's a way that you can revamp. I still want to get up there. I still want to perform, but maybe I don't want to sing, she decided. Maybe I want to go ahead and, do some acting. But then also you all know about Beyonce, and they had Girls Time. And we know what happened with that. They changed the name, Destiny's Child, refocused, changed the way they did some things. And next thing you know, history. They are legends. Moving forward, number 3, they keep a handle on what they're saying. That is their self-talk. Self-talk can be destructive. It can destroy, annihilate your confidence. I know that we are seeing a lot of young people talk about themselves in ways that concerns some of the rest of us who, are a little bit older, because we know you're not going to be able to do it if the voices in your head are negative and telling you you're not this, you're not that, you don't measure up, you're not a woman, you're not if you let yourself if you let those voices into your head take residence, that destroys your confidence. And it's so many things you won't be able to get done. So many doors and windows are closing and locking to you because you're not listening to yourself, and you're not telling yourself the best positive the most positive and best information you can. You got to think about, how do you talk to yourself? You have to stop and take inventory of, how do I talk to myself? Journal it. That might even help. Are you patient and understanding? Or do you tend toward negativity? Do you repeat things that were said to you as an insult as you were growing up? Do you repeat insults from other children? Do you repeat insults to yourself from other adults? Grabbing hold of those mental put downs will help you to preserve self-confidence. Using more positive statements, the way that you talk to yourself is critical. What you tell yourself about yourself, that's often the starting, the middle, and the end. It's important. So keep a handle on what you're saying to yourself about yourself. Number 4, they forgive. And they forgive themselves. I'm not talking about that typical, something happens to you and everyone wants you to forgive everybody else and totally forget about yourself. No. Hating yourself for some mistake you made isn't going to get you anywhere and only destroys your confidence. Being able to let go and forgive the past is crucial to future success. I wanted to tell you about Aaliyah, the infamous Aaliyah. She lost on Star Search. And I think I remember her because she was beautiful, of course. And had on a beautiful little dress, I remember. And like those pageant dresses, she kind of looked like she was adorable. And Aaliyah says she recalls that she cried when she lost on Star Search. She cried. And she said she cried her eyes out. And then she dried her eyes and she sat in the audience and enjoyed the rest of the show. Isn't that so, Aaliyah? She was saying that she had learned, you sometimes you don't do everything right, and and you don't win everything, but it's important to go back out there, and as her, her song, one of her top hits, Try Again. It's important to get out there and try again. That is so Aaliyah. But, you have to forgive, grieve it, and move on. Number 5, they revisit the past. I know people tell us don't revisit the past. It depends on how you're looking at the past. Because it's important that we look back and see, where have you succeeded before? Where have you failed? Everything that's come before, every moment you've lived before is a teaching moment. What do you know about yourself already from these events? Understanding the quote unquote you of yesterday is where your insights today come from. Confidence also comes from using this knowledge as well. They walk away. That's what successful people do. They walk away. There comes a time where a break is the best thing you can give yourself. So, confidence is kind of sometimes a finicky thing. It's going to waver from time to time, especially if you're feeling stressed and you're feeling overwhelmed. Yeah, that confidence can be real slippery. So taking time to like do a hobby, go for a walk, spend some time with friends, do things that you know are like, this is me right here. These are the clothes I wear, or this is just me. I'm just going to do me for a little while and do things that come very naturally to me. And then as I'm doing that, I'm going to, be thinking about how I can get back and get back into the groove of things. All of those things, that does a lot toward regaining a positive mindset, especially when you're feeling frustrated. And the final thing they do, they just remind themselves that they can do it. Successful people recognize failure is normal. Failure is normal. Failure is normal. Getting there is not going to be without obstacles, bumps, all kind of naysayers. You're going to meet some folks that are just going to be downright sometimes rude on the way to where you're trying to go. But the important thing when trying to regain confidence, when trying to reclaim your confidence, is to realize success is still a possibility. In fact, successful people believe it's a probability. It's going to happen. This is where you remind yourself of your goal and visualize success all over again. In the end, now, the only way to reclaim your confidence is to put intentional work into recovering it. So when you lose your confidence, it's like losing your keys. You're going to have to go look for it. You're going to have to reclaim it. You're going to have to find it again. But by using these tips, you'll get there. Recognize the process can sometimes be slow. You have to be patient with yourself. But success truly does still lie within your grasp, even after a setback. All right, y'all. Go be great. Abundant blessings. Thanks for listening.